Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I don't have a bingo. I do have the X, which is a good scoring tile. And I can play mixedy for 34. Pretty grim. 6 vowels. Should I be changing? So often when I change, there's a better move which isn't a change. But this is pretty bad. I think it's fairly beyond the point of there being candidate plays, but I should certainly look for them. My X can go underneath, my I can go underneath the X. But what do I have? I have IO for 15 points. I think EEIT is going to be pushing minus 15 or worse. And I'm not seeing how to play a longer word. Certainly when I start with a long play, I'm hoping for a good rack to maximise the floaters on the board as candidates for bingo floaters. But that's not the case here. Okay, well, opponent's taken out that I spot. I am going to change. I don't think this can be terrible. And I'll keep E and T. Now that is a lot better. I could have a 7-letter bingo here. And I may have an 8. The Y is the non-bingo-y tile. Great, a couple of consonant floaters available. So is there a 7 here? Gosh, it would be pretty high probability if there is. I've got the ILY ending and the LY ending, but I'm not seeing a 7. So how about the R? No, not seeing anything. Wow, this will be a big miss. What about the D? No, sweatily with the W, but the S doesn't work. How about ID as a 2-letter floater for a 9-letter bingo? Nope, not seeing anything. And finally, MO. No, I have Atmo lies, but that doesn't use the I. So am I sure I don't have a 7? Reward takes an S, so any 7-letter play would go. Yeastily onto a Y. Reastily not good. Well, all I have to do is play the Y, and I've got an extremely good 5-letter set. Or I could play YI if necessary. Is there a double-double, which is not a bingo? Not that I can see. I could well be missing a bingo here. Well, no obvious spot for the Y. Just here for 7 points. Well, I think here would be a better spot. It's one more and it's less dangerous, not next to this triple word square. I'm going with this. Wow, that could have been, or may well be, a huge blunder if there is a missed bingo. But now I have Aglet's and Agilist and a few others in row M. Mixedy doesn't take anything. I have Regalist beginning with the R, so I am bingoing this turn. So, and I have Glariest in row K as a double-double. That's the best I've seen. Opponent will know I'm hanging on to a big rack. Nice play by opponent, double-double. And Order 8 does not take any hooks. So I have Regalist, which sticks a T in the middle of column 15. What about a play through this E? Elegiast. And I think Egalites. Or Eagleites. Yeah. Wow, what a pickup. I have Caption and Paction. Not sure if either goes. Reward only takes an S at the end, nothing in front. Modi takes nothing in front. Egalites takes nothing in front. And my bingos don't play in columns 10 or 12. Wow, fantastic bingo by opponent. Moves into the lead. Now, do either of my bingos play? No, because only an N goes after double E. Wow, look at that, a 5-tile overlap. Brutal. So, do I have anything with my rack plus a C? No. With a P, I would have Panoptic. What about column 5, ending oid? No. What about a play ending in L? No. Ending in T? Not many of those. I would have acupoint through a U. What about this D? No. So, okay, this is not great. It's such a shame when you pick up a bingo, a 7-letter bingo, and there simply aren't the lanes, especially when you trail. So I don't want to be too reckless here. I only trail by 30. So I could play Inapt, I think, for 32 points. That's pretty good. CO, not a terrible rack leave, and I'm not giving much away. Yeah, and this is much better than playing something like across from L1, which opens up triple word squares. This opens up nothing, so opponent may struggle to score. Wow, what a terrible pickup from CO. I could be changing here. Always slightly ominous when I go through more than one change in a game. It's rarely optimal. Een takes nothing after it. This is a tight board, so opponent may be struggling to score. Royale, a potential hotspot, but at the risk of opening up the triple word square. Not that I can take advantage of it with this rack. Uncio, not good. Elt only takes an S. And the danger with changing here is that this board is so tight that regardless of what I draw, I may not be able to play. An A can go between W and DI. I don't have any 3-letter extensions for a ward. Wow, opponent gets a good score, opens up column row O, but I don't think I can do anything about that. However, I think I do need to play here, or I can play here. I've got, oh no, horrendous rack lead, but 27 points, so better than changing, and I'm interrupting row O. But can I do any better than this? My O has to go next to the Z. What about a play through the Z? So a COZ play getting doubled. Well, I don't think I have one. I could play just CUZ, which would take out row O. 20 points. I'd be dropping 7 points. I think this is a better play. Yeah, I am going with this. And I draw an I and a U to go with the ones that I had, so I think I am changing now. Absolutely horrendous, but I'm only 21 points behind at the moment on a tightish board. Is changing definitely best. Don't do anything down from the M. If I had an MAC word reaching the double word square, that might be better than changing. I think I'm just too swamped with U's and I's, and look, there's still 2 U's to come. Oh no, only takes an S after and an M in front. Still both blanks to come, so possibly an argument for changing all 7. C and A are slightly bingo-y. Those would be the only candidates for keeping, but given one of the floaters is a C, I'm minded to change it. 51 points for opponent. Wow. Okay, I am changing. And I will change all 7. And I draw a blank. Fantastic. And now I'm short on vowels. But I do have the A. Show takes N, Y, and S. Still 1 Y to come. That would be the highest scoring option. Great. Opponent hasn't... Well, he's nearly 100 points ahead, so he has done a bit of zooming. My J can't go above this O to score twice. Very few vowels on the board. I have Hadge on my rack. Not seeing anywhere for that. So I have blah in row L. It would be nice to get rid of the J, since with a blank I'm looking to bingo. But I'm not seeing anywhere for that. Is there anywhere for jab? 12 minutes on my clock. Well, yes, I can play jab here. 28 points. Opponent will probably stick a vowel under the J, but then that's going to leave column 15 alone, and I've got a blank. And surely I'm going to draw some of these vowels. But is this gifting just 2/3 of a bingo to opponent? Maybe I can do better than this. Yes, I think I can. What about playing jab here? What about playing Hadge here? 27 points, and I'm keeping the A, and this is just a much better play overall. So I'm glad I wasn't too hasty. Still no vowels. Unbelievable. Through an A, I would have biplanar. And I would just need that second vowel to stick an N on the end of show. I'm only a bingo behind, and I've got the blank, so I'm not dead in the water yet. That Hadge spot took out the available floating vowels. So I probably will have to use my solitary precious vowel. But if I play, what's opponent done? Foid. I was thinking about playing BAP in that spot. That's gone. Of only takes F and T. Now, through, well, an O or an I would have pan broil. I don't think I have a 7 here. The blank would have to be a vowel. So A, E, I, O, or U. I'm not seeing a bingo there. ID, I don't think that works. Zol only takes an S. I'd quite like to get rid of B and P. But I'm seeing nowhere on this board to do that. 10 minutes on my clock. What about WEN or AGA? I'm thinking about playing plan. And this is to distract opponent from column 15 at the bottom, and if the opponent goes in column 15 at the bottom, then I have a spot at the top. But the P not massively useful, and I'm leaving the B on my rack. So can I do something better? I'd really like to find a way of opening up new bingo lanes, but plan is the only way I've seen of doing that, and it's not great. Peen is good. I could play Lapid, keeping BNR. Not a massive fan of that. I am going with still one B to come. So what about playing Bran, keeping LP? There's a little bit of synergy going on there. I think I will go with this. Good grief. I draw 5 consonants. That is amazing, given how many vowels there are to come. And how few vowels there are on the board. I think I'm going to change here. B, F, K and P is horrendous. And if I'd played plan, I would have had BR instead of LP. Pretty awful. I am changing. I'm in a dire state, and I am changing. I need some action. Well, 5 random tiles. Do they give me a bingo in row N? Well, they do. I have etren. Great. What about a bingo in column 15? Does the same word work? Annie, not good. Doesn't play in column 14. What about column 15? Beginning with N, not seeing anything. So what about an alternative to a tren? And I'm looking for 7s at the moment. Not seen anything so far. That would be retinine through a T, and opponent takes my spot for a tren. Agony. That's the men ending. I'm not seeing anything here. That looks quite a useful tile. Not seeing anything. Unprefix. Venerian through an A. Okay, so 8 minutes on my clock, only 14 tiles to come, and I trail by 120 points. Show doesn't take an E. Gosh, so what about just the men ending? Well, I don't have a play. What about ID? Doesn't go well. What about the C or the L? No. Okay, so how to sort out the duplicates on my rack? What about a play ending ET? Gosh, close to banneret. Not seeing anything. So what do I need to play off? E and N. And where to do that? I'd really like to do it in a place which creates a new lane. C and L aren't fantastic. ET isn't fantastic, but if I play net, it doesn't take any front hooks. I'd quite like to create somewhere which makes a 7-letter lane. 6 minutes on my clock. Just rechecking a trend in column 14. Doesn't go. I'm not seeing anywhere great for NE. I'm just wondering about taking out shown. Well, just one S, one blank and one Y. And opponent's play of Suzu is really nice because it's killed off everywhere bottom left, so opponent will take that out next turn, undoubtedly. So I think the thing to do is maybe make this, provide some more useful floaters and perhaps attract opponent to doing something about these floaters. The danger is I'm drawing 5 random tiles and I could be picking, well, you can see how bad the bag is. I'd need to be pretty lucky with my pick. So is there a way of avoiding that? Wow, this is tricky. I think I'm going to have to take my chances. If I draw junk, I may have a play in column 8. I think this game is lost. I'm just too far behind. I would need 2 bingos to win, and there aren't enough tiles in the bag. So, Rennet for 11. Good grief. Well, I draw the second blank. I have Gruyere on my rack. So I have Gruyères in row D. I have the Y for showy. So I probably do have a bingo in column 15 ending in Y, which is the best possible situation. And opponent spots that danger and takes it out for a decent score. So 3 tiles in the bag. Do I have anything better than Gruyères? 4 minutes on my clock. So Gruyère's for 74. Wow, look at this. I'm putting the U in the open with the Q probably on my opponent's rack. So let me think and see if I can find a better. Bingo, I do have Gruyere in my back pocket. So what are the floaters? R, E and N. So I could use 1 blank as an I for an ING word. But I'm probably going to be sticking the U in the open, but the U in Gruyère's was immediately underneath the double word square. That double word squares are all over the place in the top left. So I have Younger on my rack as a 7. 3 minutes on my clock, no 7-letter lanes. I am going with Gruyère's. This game is lost. And I draw the Q. From a W, I would have Wakf. W of while. Where's the other W? Must be on the board somewhere. I'll find it. It's not in the bag, it's not on my rack. Well, I'm just, reward. Okay, definitely not available for Wakf. I need IR for fakir, but IR not a word. So I can play Qua with the U. Is that, and I have Cade onto ID. Might opponent block both of those? Well, he may. Probably need to play onto the N, I think, or maybe through the Y. Still not 300 points for my score, and I've had both blanks, so pretty dire game score-wise, but always interesting positions. So anywhere else for my cue? I have an A, so if there were a T, I would have cat. No, not seeing anywhere, so I think it's just Cade and Qua. Opponent's played, fantastic. 30 points. He's left himself with KV, so he may not be going out next go. I have EF. Do I have a second spot for my F? I have off, so is this best? Can opponent go out with KV in a way that Cade would be better? No, I don't think he can. I am going with Qua. So off for 9, F for 10, F for 13, so quite a few spots, F for 15. Okay, opponent plays Kid, keeps the V. Interesting, I wonder if he was stuck with the V. Well, I don't think I could have scored any more than this. And the final score, 342 for me, 404 for my opponent, a winning margin of 62 points, so well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. What a game. Could I have done better? It was me to go first, and I have Mixty, and I still like that. Wow, missed bingo, Modi word, difficult one to see. And quite a crazy word. It has about 10 different spellings, none of which are particularly easy to remember. Now, I have 6 vowels, and I change. TT, F7. Because of Modi, nice. This must be borderline with changing EEIO. Pretty awful. You're drawing 3 tiles, and if any of them's a vowel, you've got a horrendous rack. So EEIO, I would say, is worth somewhere between -10 and -15. So I don't think changing was bad. Opponent's rack. Plays reward. Now, what did I miss? Oh my word, here we go. Absolutely horrendous. There is a 7, tail yes, or tail yees, M2. Brutal. And then 2 8s, L8, both through the D, steadily and dire style. Wow, I did not have my Scrabble head on today. Those are shocking misses. And I play Moy to leave a really good 6-letter set, but tail yees is the most painful miss there. Now, opponent's rack, double. And I do bingo here with egalites. But agilist, M3. Oh gosh, because of rewards, scoring massively more. Well, 13 more points, so definitely would have been better. And opponent has cleated, which he probably wouldn't have had if I'd played in row M. Now, I have Paction, Caption, nowhere for them. But I do have Inapt for 32. And I only trail by 4. So there's hope. Opponent plays Haze, but I have this rack. Wow, cows in for 38. That would have been nice. What do? I play Ono for 27, 11 fewer points and a worse rack leave, so cousin definitely better. Opponent's rack plays While. And I change here and, yeah, K for 18, J2. Keeping IIIW. which is definitely worth more than minus 18 or less than minus 18. I would say IIIW could be pushing, well, maybe even minus 35 to minus 40. It's truly horrendous. So I'm happy with changing here. Opponent's rack plays trove. Now I have the blank. And I could have played J, keeping B and H, which isn't very bingo-y. So I play Hatch for 27, and that 6 point score sacrifice is definitely worth it in terms of the rack leave. Now, opponent's rack plays Foyd, and my rack, and this is what I'm thinking of. Am I thinking of it in this spot? No, well, plan is being suggested and shown. And Barn and Bran all in the same spot. Maybe that would have been worth doing. Well, I trail by a bingo, so I think I'd like to increase the volatility by playing up here. Now opponent's rack plays cabin. And I have a lot of consonants, and I think I change here. Yeah, and I could have played Dork, K6, DORK, taking out a bingo lane and keeping four consonants, including B, F and P, which are awful, so I like changing. Opponent's rack, pretty grim, but he does the right thing, plays through it, burning 2 S's for 10 points. Wow, look at that, that's a fantastic play. This rack looks horrendous, but he sorts it out to some extent by playing Suzu for only 10 points, and more importantly, he's taking out a bingo lane, which I was about to pounce on. However, look at this, D3, N kernel onto the L. Wow, so there was a bingo here. 66 points, 276, I would have been 40 behind, but still a blank to come. Instead I played Rennet for 11 to create some floaters. Opponent's rack plays bulls, and what do I have? D1, Gruyere for 74, but Guernsey in the same spot, getting the Y doubled for 8 more points. Now, opponent's rack plays Piggy, and I have Qua for 24. Opponent has Kid, and finally F for 15 is best. So, what a game. It felt pretty brutal. I had to change several times, but earlier on there were missed bingos which could have made a big difference, and suboptimal bingos. The biggest miss was Tail Yees and the anagrams through the D of Steadily and Dire Style, all of which I should have seen. And then when I played Egalites, I had Agilist and Rewards for a bigger score, and opponent wouldn't have bingoed afterwards. So definitely there were other outcomes that may have occurred had I have spotted those better bingos earlier on. Anyway, many congratulations to my opponent on his victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.